Hey everyone and welcome back to Trenddash. Today we're going to be discussing Addison Rae's most disrespectful moments. Stick around till number 1 and see for yourself how many times she's been associated with something humiliating. Number 12. Her stolen dance with Jack Wright. Addison and colleague TikTok celeb Jack Wright were doing a dance routine on the Walked In song that became very popular. Jack even wrote to his followers in the caption to go do the dance that Addison was doing, whereas in reality the dance was originally choreographed by another content creator on the same platform, Hunter Lasseter. Lasseter even commented on the video that they really stole my dance, huh? Although he might have said that without antagonizing them, he actually had received a lot of hate on his original video that he'd posted. In TikTok, it's hard enough to figure out which content is original as it is. And it's even more difficult when someone actually tries to gain popularity by deliberately copying someone else. Although Rae and Wright later acknowledged Lasseter's contribution to their dance routine, the damage had already been done. Number 11. Body shaming. Addison has been getting many negative comments on the internet, and that's why she's so outspoken about why she's a victim of body shaming. No one should suffer from that, especially someone who actually makes real content. Number 10. When she disrespected James Charles. James Charles is, of course, a much bigger star than Addison Rae and has been in the spotlight for a lot longer than her, but that didn't stop her from pointing out that, too rudely, a mistake in the fact that James said about her. The two had collaborated in a video where James would do her makeup and give out the tutorial, which was obviously a generous move on his part, and it would certainly mean that Addison would be getting a lot of attention. However, when James casually mentioned that she was competitively new in the field and had posted only a single makeup video, Addison quickly corrected him and said that it was in fact 2, in a rather condescending tone. James was visibly taken aback, but he still continued with it. Number 9. When she insulted James Charles. But Addison didn't finish with her conceited behavior there. Instead of being thankful towards James for giving her a chance to collaborate with him, she even insulted him in the same video. Everyone knows that plucking eyebrows hurts, but Addison simply snapped at James when he was doing hers and went as far as telling him to stop. Why are you doing it like that? As if he was her own personal makeup artist that she'd hired. We don't know whether Addison's techniques of plucking eyebrows are good or not, but whatever the case may be, nothing gave her the right to treat a celebrity bigger than her in both fields of fame and duration as her inferior, and insult him like that. Number 8. When she didn't even let James finish his lines. Surely it's not so difficult to guess the problems didn't stop there. In fact, it consisted throughout the entire time because Addison just couldn't seem to come out of her own self-centered bubble and stop talking about her own self. Sure, James asked her a couple of questions, but she used up almost all of the time in the video in answering them. She didn't even let James finish the steps of the makeup routine that he was giving out to his viewers, which was, in fact, the purpose of the video. She kept on diving back into whatever she was speaking about herself. And at the end of the video, when the makeup on her face was completed, it still seemed like she had a lot to talk about. James posted an apology video for his fans after the fact because he simply couldn't give out all of the steps of the tutorial, whereas in reality, it wasn't his fault, but Addison, who didn't even seem to acknowledge that. Number 7. When she told James he had haters on his face. Once in a mukbang video that she did with James, the topic of whether they searched their own names online came up, and it seemed like a rather uncomfortable topic, because many people attack him on the internet with rude comments. Addison, instead of comforting him, just acknowledged the fact. To rub it in his face even more, she said that her own fans are very supportive and nice to her. Well, this is one way of handling things with a fellow star, but it's pretty obnoxious and disrespectful. Number 6. When she said, "I'm gonna throw up." Saying this doesn't sound too rude and disrespectful, but the context is not that simple. Addison said this in a video in a completely frivolous mood, claiming that she had filled herself full to capacity with junk food from McDonald's. This isn't too offensive in itself, and it would have been okay if it was a common video on the internet posted by someone not famous. But the fact Addison Rae has millions of fans from all over the world, and there are tons of people out there who can't afford to eat more than one meal per day, makes the entire thing very disrespectful and insensitive. She can spoil herself all she wants, but she shouldn't actually joke around with something which is a burning issue that many people struggle with. Number 5. Addison disrespecting her dad. Apparently, Addison meant to put her father down. Be it over something he posted on TikTok, or on Twitter, or something very domestic which the world wasn't supposed to know about, especially through his daughter pointing those out. There's been more than one instance where she made fun of her dad. Take this, for example. She pointed it out rather rudely that he had spelled chipolate wrong. Yeah, so he made a mistake. Does that mean that you have to make fun of him? She even further revealed about how it spelled pomegranate as Pomeranian a couple of days back. Like, why do you even have to discuss this online? It was clearly a domestic thing. Not very respectful there, Addison Rae.
Also, you also started a podcast with your mom, right?
Yes.
Now, how do you like doing podcasts?
It's so fun. I think a podcast is like another level of like intimacy with, you know, like your supporters.
Right.
And so being able to like talk about it with my mom too is so fun. And we definitely have awkward conversations. Like people are like, how are you guys so close? And I'm just like, it wasn't always like that. We didn't always know everything, you know, because like obviously mom and daughters, like there are boundaries and like things you don't tell your mom, but then like now I'm like telling her everything.
Everything is out on the table.
Number 4, when she walked out on her mom. Addison Rae has been talking so sweetly about her mom on the internet. She'd posted cute pictures of the two of them and has always convinced the viewers of how strong and loving their relationship is. However, this seems to only happen virtually, as there is an instance where she seemed to walk out on her mom in the kitchen. In the video, she's apparently chopping onions as the camera records. It looks like a regular busy day in the kitchen. And her mother and little brother are also seen working. However, Addison soon gives up on the job and instead speaks to the camera about how she can't stop crying because of, well, the onions. It's pretty much like an exaggeration, because her brother clearly says that the onions aren't getting to him. If that's the case then, it's evident that she's only using the occasion as a ruse to gain clout online, and she really doesn't care about helping her mother, which to be honest is pretty disrespectful. Number 3, when she lied about being in a relationship with Bryce. For quite some time, Addison as well as Bryce were asked constantly whether they're together or not, and however much their claim was well supported with instances where the two of them were seen to be extremely close to each other, none of them ever acknowledged it. They had been constantly putting down all inquiries where they were asked to confirm their relationship. However, fans were left shocked when they were finally asked to make an announcement from their part on the relationship, and they revealed that they had broken up. This only proved that they'd been blatantly lying to so many of their fans for so long by constantly denying that they were together for months, whereas in reality they were full on dating. That's very disrespectful to all the fans worldwide, who've always supported her through thick and thin. Number 3, a meme video. As much attention as she's seen for being controversial, Addison has gotten her fair share of embarrassment and disrespect. One instance was a video of her twerking, which was used by the New York Jets in a meme format that showed as if the ball was coming out of her behind. Pretty disrespectful to the girl and her work, and it doesn't spread a very good message. Number 1, when she disrespected Asians. Guess the Age Challenge is the name of the game that YouTubers play and try to guess random people's ages just by looking at their photos. Nick Beam, famous TikToker, is also no exception to playing the game, but one time when he was playing it with Addison Rae and Bryce Hall, things really went downhill. When they weren't able to guess the age of an Asian woman, Nick stated that she might be 15 or 35. No in between because that's just, quote, the way Asians are, end quote. This in itself was pretty disrespectful. But what Addison said after this only added fuel to the fire. She doubted that the female might not, quote, just be Asian, but, quote, be a Korean. She doesn't even seem to know basic geography well. If she has any Asian fans, this is very insulting to them. Well, while you're here, go ahead and click on one of these videos on your screen. See you there.